Nick Fuentes is like kind of running like a soft cult, or not, if not a soft cult, just a lot of people that just repeat his talking points because all they did was go up and ask about the USS Liberty. That was basically it. I mean, am I misremembering, or I mean?
No, I mean,
no, you're right.
You know,
And he even told them to chill on the Israel stuff.
Yeah,
they got to a point where Fuentes was like, "Hey, stop asking about Israel."
Yeah, but you know,
he
like,
kind of inserted himself into the situation and then tried to derail it. Oh, stop asking about Israel all the time.
Which is what Fuentes does.
Exactly.
He wants to be the only that is. See, it was actually the group war that like really turned me off to Fuentes because he did make that case. He said, "Yeah, stop talking about Israel," and I like remember back then tweeting about it. I was like, Nick Fuentes, he just wants to be the only one to have this talking point, and he just wants to bring it out occasionally.
He wants to act like it's all him, and like that doesn't help us, and it doesn't help us because it's easy. Then it's easy because then everything he does reflects on us. As if we're all fucking, you know what I mean?
And I know Fuentes talks quickly.
I mean, it's exactly the same thing Richard Spencer did, to be honest.
Yep.
So
what's funny?
Really answer your question, which one's worse, Fuentes or Richard Spencer? They're the same fucking thing, basically.
Two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, we just got. Unfortunately, we have to wait to see how much damage Fuentes does. But I think Fuentes has. I was kind of going into this earlier. Fuentes has this added danger of jading and ruining a whole fucking young generation of men who could grow up into fucking very good, strong people.
Yeah.
And they're being diverted. Like at least Richard Spencer had a wife
that he threw down the stairs. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you know. How badly did she burn dinner?
Yeah. No, also like who knows?
I don't know
that was even the truth. I don't even. I say that jokingly. Who knows?
It probably was because I think he's a bit of a fucking retard, but
he is a bit of a spurge. Like we knew that after when. I mean, frankly, that was kind of like the one semi-decent thing Milo ever did was kind of blow up the image of Richard Spencer when he released that tape.
Yeah, but I mean, if anybody,
after, Charlottesville,
if at that point when that tape was released, if at that point anybody was actually fucking giving a rat's ass about Richard Spencer, they're kind of fucking useless people, anyways.
Well, if you think about it, if you wanted to like paint for like your average, whatever, the epitome of a bad white guy, Richard Spencer would be it. You know what I mean?
Except he's gay, so it's not even something that would like inspire. I mean, no, seriously, it's like it's not something that would inspire like Bubba.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Louisiana. No, because he's so gay. But I'm thinking about if you were selling it to your average libtard or something. You know what I mean?
But yeah, he's the model. He gives them the exact like model of.
He's the one they can point out and be like, "There's the bad guy."
Yeah, but it's
he
not
exactly
a bad guy to people that would could be swayed to be on our side.
Yeah, well, he's not good for us. Is my point.
Yeah.
He's good for
yeah, definitely not.
But once again, even if
if he's gay, what if they use the gay guys because they got something on them? So
exactly.
Like, oh, if you don't like tell them to ease up on Israel or whatever, then if you don't shill for Biden, then we're gonna tell everybody you're gay.
Although to be fair to Spencer, like he's been so like it wouldn't be a surprise. So I'm not sure how much it would hurt him.
Right? Yeah.
If he
at this point, but
I mean,
back in the day, but he's also not even really relevant anymore.
I mean, wasn't that implicit? Last implicit bastion.
Yeah, I brought that up.
Right.
Let's take a look
wasn't
at
that
his
from
Twitter
like
feed
2013
real quick.
or something like that?
No, it was like 15, 16 or something.
Okay.
It was a Milo
okay, right
time.
on.
It was a Milo
Jesus
time.
Christ. Good Lord.
And Milo, he's Jewish, gay, for a black guy. Like, you know what I mean?
Disgusting.
Yeah, his husband is black, and he'll tell you it like every.
Bro,
every chance.
Real quick, I wanted to say one of the funniest things about the initial the start of the quote unquote Groiper War, right? The campus stuff. I might be misremembering, But I feel like before that TPUSA, before Charlie Kirk went and did his little thing where they asked him the question about the USS Liberty, I remember the guys on Tedious suggesting that somebody do that. I don't know if any of you guys like watched them at the time, but
No.
I remember them saying like somebody should go up there and ask them, a question about Israel or blah blah blah, and then some guy did it, and then Fuentes saw it and rolled along with it.
Oh yeah, that seemed like fairly spontaneous and organic, and there might have been people like whoever these, I don't know who these guys are, but you were talking about kind of promoting that shit. But yeah. It didn't. I didn't.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they did it because of them, but I feel like I distinctly remember Mike bringing it up, and then it's just funny that I don't know, it was that type of people who would do that, you know what I mean? And those type of people are who Fuentes now calls cringe and wigmat.
Yeah.
Which
Exactly.
is my point. It's I don't know
Jamie,
if that's irony, but it's gay.
The one thing that I remember Mike saying, and I couldn't give you a timeline on this. All I can say is that it was sometime after the Gurpa War, or the Gurpa Wars, was that Mike actually criticized it for them going so hard on the Israel thing, just because it was like nonstop. They weren't making like an argument, and they were just going, "Oh, have you heard about the USS Liberty incident?" Because remember, they would go up there, and somebody would say, "In 1967," and then Dan Crenshaw would just say, "All right, take the mic from him." Like they would last.
It becomes counterproductive at a point.
Right. What Mike said, something that they never did, because Nick Fuentes doesn't really do this. Nick Fuentes, if you'll notice, he doesn't really talk all that much about white people.
No.
So what Mike Enoch suggested he do was, especially towards like Dan Crenshaw, was hey, Congressman Crenshaw, you say a lot of things nice about our fellow African American citizens. You kind of got to be normie tier like that with the language. You say a lot of things nice about our fellow African American citizens, and that's great. But can you say something nice about white people?
Yeah,
just
tell me one nice thing.
That would have been amazing.
And it's funny. Some of the guys I've been leariest about have been the TRS guys, and yet they come out with some of the most sensible fucking comments.
Yeah,
it's funny because people paint them as like they're feds or they go too hard or whatever, but I think that they have like a lot of their takes are like the common sense approach.
Yeah.
Like the NJP stuff is all, I don't know, it's not like extreme. A lot of it is, people already hold those beliefs or feel that way. They just haven't like articulated it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they're kind of I wouldn't say failing, because I don't think it is a failing, but the thing that kind of keeps them to a certain demographic or a certain area of discourse is the fact that they're like really fucking wicked and very effective, and they're shit posters of the fucking most extreme extent.
That's
right?
true, yeah.
And so like if you listen to their shit, and I used to listen to the Daily Show on a fucking regular basis, and I really like their stuff, was how they just drop fucking jokes without any concern. You know what I mean? Because they didn't have any political standing, right? They were just
Right. They didn't have any political aspirations at the beginning, which I could see what you mean about that, like kind of hurting what they're trying to do now with, doing something serious.
Well, what they're doing now, I gotta delve into it, because I've heard a little bit, and you've dropped me a link, and I haven't had time to look into it actually.
We should go over the platform one day.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a good idea. Yeah,
absolutely. But I think they did a lot of damage in 2016 that's being felt now. And it wasn't on their podcast. It wasn't on their memes. It wasn't on, like, they did some fucking great shit, like the coincidence, promoting the coincidence detector and shit like this.
Oh, yeah.
The echoes.
Oh, yeah. And like,
it's honestly, it's astounding how many like memes that we still use today came from them or one of their shows.
Yeah, were either directly from them or they picked up on it and promoted, and they were really savvy that way. Like they saw good content, and they either created it or they saw it. But the damage that they did wasn't on that. It was with the public things that started coming out that became public. And if they could have stayed, if they could have stayed out of the limelight, they would have been more useful and more effective, because it's so extreme by the normie standard. So when Richard Spencer does his goofy fucking victory speech thing and somebody drums up on stage and drops Roman salutes.
That was actually Mike.
Yeah. I've heard that. I don't know that, I haven't seen any evidence of that 100%, but I've heard that. My point being is...
He's admitted to it. He said it wasn't like the smartest thing he's ever done.
Yeah. That type of shit.
But it's not very smart to do just because...
Well,
whatever. How long do you think it's going to take before we're held up as fucking? Oh, look at all the fucking.
No. And I get both sides. I get both sides of that argument, but at that time,
I can't wait. We'll get a hell of a bump then.
We'll set up a paywall.
But at that time, someone
maybe
like Richard
people
Spencer,
actually send money to the Streamlabs.
Buy a shirt.
Before Richard Spencer itself fucking detonated.
That's streamlabs.com/FrenReport. Merch at streamlabs.com/FrenReport/merch.
HH.
I had to do a little hand rubbing there, guys.
What do you think?
Come on, man.
When do you guys got to do this fucking public shit? I'm not doing it.
Public shit.
I'm not doxing myself, boy.
Yeah, you are. You're the only one that is. Yeah, fuck it.
Oh, bro, what the fuck? We got some Nigerian-looking motherfucker model in our clothes.
Yeah, it's funny. Isn't it?
I know. If you could have chosen that would have been a good joke.
See, I was thinking, I might have chose that anyway, just for the comedic aspect of it. The irony.
Or get like a nice
that's irony, guys. Not like pretending to be gay, but being really gay or whatever the fuck.
Bro, that whole thing, that misuse of irony, like that makes me so angry. Well, not angry, but it's so gay, Like the Rockwell using irony wasn't him like saying shit, and then when he's cornered, he'd go, "Oh, I don't actually believe that. That was a joke." Like that's not. That's not how you use irony.
Here's the thing.
That's not irony.
People don't even understand.
They're like, yo, you don't get irony. Like, you don't get irony. I'm like, oh, really? Because I'm using it way better than you are. But
dude,
like irony is driving a hate around the town when the Freedom Riders are doing their thing. Like that's
right.
He didn't. When someone came to interview him, he didn't back off of it and go, "Oh no, I'm just joking." Like, no, dude. Like, I don't know. It irritates the shit out of me because then when any like shit poster or guy in our thing does an irony, people think, oh well, if you were cornered on your beliefs, you would take it back. Like, dude, I'm not Beardson. I'm not a fucking
yeah.
Like, no,
here's the thing. Irony is like
fuck. I think I hate Beardson the most out of that crew, to tell you the truth.
Honestly, he's probably the worst.
I think he's the one.
I don't I do not see his appeal whatsoever.
Never understood it. I followed him like 2015, 2016 because he had like made one good tweet, and then the next one was like fucking gay back then.
I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, his name is Beardson Beardly. That's probably the gayest moniker.
I got a beard. Get it? Because I got a beard.
It's like
we've already talked about Beardson more than he deserves.
Yes,
but no, it's just kind of like I have a beard and I'm pretending to be a bear, but I'm really a bottom.
I could definitely see that.
Oh Lord,
I'll just leave it at that. That's my fucking take on that fucking piece of garbage.
But anyway, yeah.
Man.
My whole point was.
What are you looking at, Murray?
At least
Oh,
for
just
me,
that video of George Lincoln Rockwell, where the journalist, he's coming out of the
Oh yeah,
New
yeah.
York State yeah, and he's like, "Did you know that every man in there was Jewish?" And he said, "Every man," and then he just starts laughing.
Bro, that I used to have that along with some other choice Rockwell clips on my YouTube channel before it got yeeted. I love that dude. I know a lot of people like say he was a Fed or whatever, but if you read his work and like listen to his speeches, the dude was on point.
You know that he's not a Fed because, like, did you ever see the Roots, The Next Generation, with Marlon
No.
Brando playing him?
No.
No, I did not. I'll have
So,
to check this out.
Yeah, Alex Haley, the guy that did Roots, the black guy that did Roots, he did another one called Roots, Next Generation, where it was like more black people in like the modern age, and it was kind of more of like an episodic type thing, where they would do like different stories. So one of them was about himself. It was when he was interviewing, because Alex Haley did an interview with George Lincoln Rockwell, and I would actually encourage you to Google Alex Haley interviews George Lincoln Rockwell. It would actually
That wasn't the
read
Playboy interview, was it?
as it was published, and I think it was with Playboy.
Okay, yeah, I have that. I've
think it
read it.
was.
It's fucking hilarious. Dude calls him an N to his face like 100 times.
Right, but you can actually tell from the writing that he's saying it somewhat like mellowly. Now, when it's funny because in Roots: The Next Generation, Alex Haley is played by oh, son of a bitch, I'm drawing a blank here. This is really bad. James Earl Jones, Darth Vader.
Uh-huh.
And George Lincoln Rockwell is played by Marlon Brando, and Marlon Brando kind of does more of like he basically does his Don Corleone bit, and it's just really bad.
Did you just say George Lincoln Rockwell was played by Marlon Brando?
That is what I said. Yes.
I don't know how I've missed this.
Yeah, how
wild.
did I not know that existed? Now I have to watch this.
I don't want to misrepresent him. He didn't like call him an N to his face 100 times, but he dropped several N bombs despite being like very candid, and it wasn't like a hostile conversation. So I
And
don't,
it's
I
like
don't
the
want to
funny-
misrepresent it.
The funny thing is like it basically tries to make George Lincoln Rockwell look like a wannabe Hitler. The Roots episode, and it shows like Alex Haley comes into this room. It's all like bedecked in sort of Nazi memorabilia and shit, and there's like a stone-faced guard in a brown shirt with a swastika armband at the door that just stands there.
Yeah.
This is like a trope that they do with white nationalists. There's like a stone-faced guard that always follows around, the Führer.
Who has nothing better to do, never has to use the washroom
Right.
to get a drink of water. He's just standing
It's like,
there.
have you guys seen Imperium? I watched this like the other week.
No.
The Daniel Radcliffe movie Imperium. He's
Oh,
like an FBI
wait.
agent.
Yes. I did watch that, dude.
Yeah, they
fucking
do the
Judeans.
same thing. There's like there's the guy that follows around the American Nazi Party guy. He's like this bald dude, and he's just like mean looking, and he just carries around a rifle, and it's just totally stone faced. He's just his bodyguard. It's fucking so stupid.
I just threw an
Actually-
image in the group chat of those quote unquote stone faced guys that hung out with Rockwell. If you guys want to check that out real quick, it's pretty funny. But anyway,
There's actually
continue, sorry.
one really good thing about that movie, Imperium, which is that it kind of exposes to like the normie how prevalent grifters are in
How prevalent the whats are?
grifters.
Oh,
Guys
yeah,
that
okay.
do, because the one guy, well, I don't really want to spoil it too bad, but one of the guys is like a media figure on the dissident right, and it turns out that he's basically a grifter.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
say. Man.
Yeah, actually, that movie has more fucking truth to it than Like it's not what they're trying to fucking do, but it's a pretty good warning for what we do and what we're trying to do, who to avoid.
Yeah.
This is the dumbasses who are just kind of in it to be in a group. There's the grifters. There's the FBI agents.
There's the people who are attracted to it because of the edginess.
Yep.
Which I think that Uncle A said that they were the worst.
Yep.
Right.
It
Well,
might
it
have been
actually-
Rockwell. It was one of those two dudes who was like had a whole thing about how those people are like poison for the movement.
It actually kind of subverts itself from our perspective, because at the end of the movie you found out that like the guys that are probably the guys that you want to be with are like the swastika armband wearing American Nazi Party guys. They're like the ones
Yeah.
that are they're the ones that are doing like smart things but aren't breaking the law, but are still like hardcore and are serious and intelligent.
Yeah. And raising families and working day jobs and
Are passionate and in it for positive reasons instead of
Yeah.
negative ones. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'll just kind of spoil it, but like the guy that's supposed to be like the most normal guy and the most like cultured, he's like actually the bad guy.
yeah. But
He's
I mean,
the one
they,
that wants to detonate the dirty bomb.
yeah,
For some stupid
they-
fucking reason.
they turn it. Yeah, they make him look at the worst because he's probably the most useful and effective person in the group. Right? Like they have to
Right,
demonize him
yeah.
the most. Where all the other guys are kind of like, yeah, they're there and they look like idiots, but this guy, woo, this is the dangerous one.
Yeah, so you kind of got
listen
to
to-
understand that in real life, that guy's the guy that you want to be. Just don't fucking detonate a dirty bomb. Okay.
Yeah, if you, like that guy in real life doesn't.
Yes, exactly. That was like because that's when the movie just sort of fucks itself.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And that guy in real life
what are you
does
gonna expect?
does listen to classical music, does teach his kids to behave well and have good manners and
And
get
his
a good
wife
education.
makes swastika cupcakes.
okay, no, that's
Come
funny
on.
as shit. 'cause
Taste.
I think they got that straight off of fucking
Snickerdoodle
Murdoch.
swastikas?
Yeah, I was gonna say they got that straight out of Murdoch.
Yeah.
Like, yes, this is our dream fucking trad wife, but no, that's not happening.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it does. Maybe there's somebody out there who's going like, Raid, you don't know what you're talking about. My wife does this all the time, but I mean, come on.
Bro, imagine having a wife who bakes you snickerdoodle cupcakes. I mean, swastika cupcakes.
I don't know. I'd fucking laugh so
That's
hard. I
the
don't know.
dream.
I'd just fucking be laughing my ass off if I fucking had a wife who did that. Jesus Christ. I'd be like, yeah, this is some weird fantasy. Come on. Blonde
but
hair,
what's
big
funny
breasts,
is-
walking through wheat fields, baking.
You still all those archetypes you still see in the DR today. You see the people who care, like the passionate people. You see the grifters. You see the people who are just in it to be edgy and
Yep.
say the N-word. And then you see the feds infiltrating it to poison the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all the same as the 30s, or I mean the 20s and 30s. Then again in like the 50s and 60s and today.
And it's always the media pushes it this way, and the people in control push it this way as they turn it into that thing in that movie. They turn it into this kind of some sort of a subversive, nasty, small section of the population who are just hell bent on this weird fantasy of a white homeland and how weird that is. And it's taken from, if you look at, once again, you look at the people who are like, I hate to use this term, but true believers. What are they? They're just fucking people who want to raise a family and have a fucking homogenous society. It's not weird or fucking, a cultish thing at all. It's the opposite.
No,
of
it's.
it.
I mean, it's honestly like I was saying. It's a common sense approach, right?
Exactly.
Like, real quick. One of the specific points in the NJP's platform is a cap, a 2% cap on like Jewish representation, right? And a lot of people were spurting out about it, like, oh my God, only 2. that's representative of their population, right?
Yeah.
So like, why would it doesn't make sense for them to be overrepresented? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just shit like that where, you know, on its face, like before, if you don't really think about it, you just go, oh, these guys, you know, only 2% Jewish. Well, yeah, but I mean, that's like, there's nothing crazy about that. It's honestly crazy that it's any more than that,
Yeah.
that it's like 50, 60%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason they should be so incredibly overrepresented.
Right, and to argue like for that, to argue for them to be so overrepresented, you have to make the case that white people shouldn't be represented in their own country, right?
Yeah.
You kind of have to say that you think that white people don't deserve the same rights. And I think that's like a brilliant like bit of that, is that, you know, to argue against a lot of those points, you kind of have to say that, you know, you think white people should be fucked.
Yeah.
Well, and that's pretty much the case they're going with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When Mike was talking about it, he was like, you know, he said, I want them to say that. He's like, I want them to have to come out and say that they think white people don't deserve the same rights, that they should be underrepresented in their own, you know, cities and states, whatever.
Yep.
Because, you know, that's people are going to notice that.
Yeah, and you know that doesn't help with the fucking the people who are already fucking lefties. That's not going to be the thing that turns them over, but it helps with the middle of the road people who won't commit.
Yeah, I could see that. And well, there was this one guy who did a speech on there, a short one called "An Appeal to the Left," and you can see it a lot.
Baylog, Captain.
Yeah. And it's pretty brilliant, to be honest. You should definitely check those out, Raid and Walrus, if you haven't seen them yet either. I don't know, they're coming at it from really interesting angles.
Well, because
but I definitely see what you're saying. They're not going to get progressives over.
Yeah, but it's the middle of the road people who are pushed left.
So go ahead, Murray. Do you have a?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the reason I say, you know, well, maybe not. I mean, this isn't even really a criticism, and I'm kind of joking when I say this. But like, Stryker's a communist.
Well, you know what?
So,
I mean.
Yeah, no, I'm not even like.
Yeah,
I actually kind of like Stryker. I disagree.
No,
with him
I like him a lot. He does really good
Stryker.
work.
Yeah, I think he does a lot of good. I like his writing, especially, and I actually think he's quite cheerful. He's got a good personality. I wish he would do more episodes of the People Square and stuff like that. But Stryker is
that's
very
a good
much
show.
kind of like a beefsteak Nazi, you know, a little red on the inside, brown on the outside.
But
So guys like Stryker, and he's not an idiot too. Like, that's the thing. I don't necessarily agree with everything that Stryker says. Like, I do think perhaps he is a bit more praiseworthy of certain communist regimes that I would like. But the dude knows his stuff. He at least has a decent amount of rhetoric to build off of. So, you know, I don't know. And then like you said with Warren Baylog or Balog, I'm not entirely sure how it's pronounced. That guy is also a bit of a leftist. And he did make that speech, which I thought was pretty great, focusing primarily on things like environmentalism. And environmentalism is more of a right-wing thing that was co-opted by the left in the last century than it ever was a leftist thing.
One of my favorite things about Stryker is that he is very like passionate. You know, he comes at a lot of stuff from an emotional,
but he's
like an
cheerful.
Emotional appeal.
He's always cheerful.
Yeah. But you know, we see a lot of guys come at it from like autistic, like detail focused, very dry areas, you know, like. But he comes from a very like he's appealing to your emotions, and then he builds on that with, you know, his writing. I think guys like that are good.
I mean, that helps for sure, but you kind of got to hit it from all angles. There's a reason why all of the emotional appeals exist. Or all of the rhetorical appeals exist, because you have to have all of them.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I just think that in our thing we need more emotional, appealing guys. I don't think we have enough, but yeah, you're right.
I agree, but I also like I don't know. Like on here, I don't want to sit there and rant on shit either because nobody wants to listen to that. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So
it's a delicate, a fine line you're walking there for sure.
But also,
the
like,
the only thing Stryker rants about are those bug blacks in Williamsburg.
that's why I try to strike
Yeah.
the balance between comedy, autism, and there's emotional appeals on here sometimes too, a bit. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
when
But it's
appropriate.
also
It's a trifecta.
the emotional appeal.
And actually, the emotional appeals work really good when you channel them into comedy. You know?
Yeah, no, big time.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what brought me over to like this sphere. Was comedy.
Yeah.
It made me, enough. You see enough jokes about usury and shit like that, and you end up looking into it and being like, oh, I don't know. It's you go down a rabbit hole and you end up meeting a lot of other people who went the same route.
Yep.
Like the emotional appeals that we need to make are what do we like, what do we want to achieve, what do we want to see in our society? We want to see a stable family, we want to see people getting married and not getting into the degeneracy, we want to see them raising children and getting jobs. And all these things are foreign to so many of the people that we need to reach. So how do we reach the young guy who thinks he's never going to get a girlfriend because he's so fucking jaded, and maybe he's going to go join fucking a Black Lives Matter rally in hopes that he might get a fucking crumb, or his family life is so fucked up when you say, I talk about shit about my fucking childhood and going, and my childhood was not fucking, the Andy Griffith show. I come from a fucked up family, but you go find a way, even in comedy or whatever else, to promote these good, healthy things, and people go, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
I've never seen this. This is retarded. This is stupid. Like, what are you even fucking talking about?
You need culture to make it cool first. You're not gonna like start with that. You need a shift in the culture.
Yeah.
That starts with grassroots. You need to change the way that women are viewed. You need to change the way that through comedy, through television, through theater, through music.
Yeah.
It's got to be a front like that, because if you just go with the way that people are, brainwashed right now, and come to them with these messages, they're gonna go, that's not cool.
Yeah,
I want to be able to do drugs all day, and I want to be able to, have 70 porn channel. It has to start with a culture shifting into making that cool.
Well, this is why I kind of like things like,
it's time to put the losers back in the locker. It's like, all
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
you got 40 years.
dude,
And
that's
we're back in the locker. We need chads. We need guys that work out. We need people like the people you see online, like Soul Bra, Spinach Bra, or making like that type of life like cool. Hey, I want to be like that guy.
Well, we need like
Do it by,
we also need like movies where like that's the hero again, because like
Yeah.
they used to be, that's a big part of it.
Hollywood, yeah.
Because when you're watching movies, it's called this. It kind of bypasses all your filters because you're just watching the movie. So they sneak in the little shit like that fucking.
Yeah, it comes with the culture. Politics follow culture,
Yeah,
dude.
no longer is the.
We went to Redneck Movies the other fucking night. My son picked a Scooby-Doo cartoon, and it was a new Scooby-Doo cartoon. And they've actually, like, I've seen a lot of Scooby-Doo over the past few years, thanks to my children. And some of the new stuff is of the past, 15 years, 20 years, wasn't even that bad. But the newest thing, it's the white guys are dumb, and can't get along and can't get anything accomplished. And there's never a fucking jogger American woman in a Scooby-Doo fucking cartoon ever that was part of the fucking gang. And there's one who's telling everybody how to get things, how to solve the problems. So she's the person who knows what, can solve the problems and know what's going on. I'm sort of going like,
it's not so like pervasive. Real life at all. That's for sure.
No, it's like it's so fucking pervasive, right? Like
I don't know.
Yeah,
in my experience, black women know a lot about spooks.
Wah, wah. You can't get content like this anywhere else, guys.
But yeah, that's to quote Mike Staclaza, that's the kind of stuff where you might not notice it, but your brain does.
Yeah.
Yeah, your subconscious, and they're actually going directly to your subconscious.
It's funny.
It's a thing.
I walked in.
You drop your you drop your guard when you're watching a movie or watching one of those late night talk shows.
That's why I like to use a lot of humor too, because that kind of bypasses the subconscious a little bit too. So where like it bypasses the programming, so you can just see it starkly for what it is.
Yeah.
I think music too. Like we need more people doing music. It doesn't even have to be like explicitly, pro-white or anything. That's not what I mean. But
it's actually better if it isn't.
Yeah.
Yes, all music is like so fucking degenerate these days. It's disgusting, and I think we need, more people who aren't either promoting degeneracy or, whining about how much life sucks.
Yep.
That's kind of that's kind of the only things I ever see anymore in music.
It's funny. I've kind of always identified with older music because I grew up with the shit. But it was also the mentality of it. One of the reasons I like the rockabilly fucking stuff, the early country stuff, is because it was written and sung by people who were working people. They were sharecroppers. They were fucking factory workers. They were farmers. They were whatever. And so the songs are about even the kind of like what could be sort of classified as degeneracy, the honky tonk and partying and picking up gals in bars was always from that working class mentality.
Yeah.
And there are songs about how hard that winter was, and how we worked our asses off, and that pretty gal down the road, I'm gonna marry her, and we're gonna have 10 kids, and all this type of shit, without being preachy.
Yeah.
Because
even the songs that were about like the degenerate stuff, there was often like kind of a lesson to it. It was like, don't be a degenerate.
Yeah, it was like, like even songs about like cheating on your wife, and then everything fell apart because of it or whatever.
And like when I was a kid, my mom had a Johnny Horton record on, and Honky Tonk Man came on, and I fucking loved that song. And I was like 6. I remember my mom looking over at me and going, "Don't you ever be a honky tonk man like that." And it was, it was kind of funny. It's a funny, quaint little fucking thing, but listen to what the song's about, right? It's about a guy who never settles down and goes out partying and is always broke, and he doesn't have
money's all gone. I'm on the telephone,
exactly
singing, "Hey, mama, can your daddy come home?"
Exactly, right? Like it's not a.
Thought you said you were a bad singer, bro.
Yeah, you're fucking hired, by the way, brother.
Yeah.
You make it over to Canada, we got a band.
There you go.
But yeah, I definitely agree with that point that we need more people in our thing creating stuff. Art, especially, which I would consider movies and music to go along with that.
But it's all, it's all part of the propaganda, the music that's being glorified. I was talking about the other day, there was an article, this guy named Jason Whitlock, it's a jogger American, but he's like super like into Christ. He's like, look, what they're doing to the black community is a travesty because they're making them replace religion, which they used to be like religious before, with like drugs, alcohol. I have this new watch, I have this, and they and it's like they're switching gods.
Materialism.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly, and it's all music. Even my kid, turns around, like, we buy a new video game, like we bought Madden, and every single song in the game is like drugs, is like this, is like, dude, it's a kid's game,
Right. And when you think about, like, your subconscious is like your spiritual side, kind of.
Yeah, and not only that, but I mean, I would understand if you can, because you can pick the music in video games. You can turn off tracks, whatever. But like 60 tracks were the same, where it was all rap, it was all, it's like they're just flooding the market with it,
Yeah.
Just like every TV commercial, just like, like my son notices because I tell him, look, this is why, I don't go that deep into it. I don't want to like traumatize him, because imagine being 9 and, I'm here to, but
they're like,
him,
yeah, you got the fucking new car and shoes and fucking whatever. And it's not about like, oh, I got a nice house and a fucking good wife. And,
what happens with those kids? Like, for me, because I care, but other parents are like, yeah, watch and play whatever you want. Here's an iPad, leave me alone,
Yeah.
And that's what 90% of the childhood is like. Like, I go to, like, kid's birthday, and and I see other kids, and they, and it's like, end this, and then,
They're
like at
dancing the
9 years
Cardi
old,
B and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad,
Yeah, blacks especially definitely have their most base impulses, like sold, like repackaged and sold back to them. You know what I mean? With drug, sex, materialism, all that shit is put into like a nice, flashy, cool-looking package, and then sold back to the next generation of them. And it's been like that since.
And actually, like, it's the epitome of what 100 years ago, or even like 80 years ago. It was a caricature of the black guy that they were like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's a pimp, and all he cares about is sex and money and blah blah.
Yeah, It's funny that's when non-blacks kind of said, this is where you guys are and this is where you're headed. It's more racism, and then they say, yeah, you're absolutely right. This is exactly who we are. Then it's it's their culture. It's good.
And then everybody wonders why they're miserable, because they gave up everything that actually makes people happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's that same degeneracy is being pushed on us in our society.
Yeah, I mean, they're being sold something that will never be fulfilling.
Yeah.
Like, they will, you will never be satisfied. You will never be happy. And that's, that's definitely intentional, but.
Oh, no, absolutely. But think of it, like, this is the hard sell. This is the thing that's so hard about it. And I've seen this because I've tried not to be preachy, but I've gone on about this shit ever since I was like fucking like into my teens even. Jesus, even when I was fucking doing drugs, I'd tell people not to. But you go into a social setting and you tell everybody that pleasure is not the point of life, and the point of life is suffering and hard work because it makes you a better person and it gains you real tangible things and real, like you said, things that will actually satisfy the soul. You're telling them to give up the instant pleasure. It's a fucking hard sell, right? Like,
that's very true. Yeah.
Somebody's sitting on a couch having people bring them fucking food, and you say, "Hey, what you're doing is not the right thing. Come with me. We're gonna go on a 10-mile fucking jog," and at the end of it, there's nothing. There's nobody there. There's nobody congratulating you. All you've got is pain and sweat, but you've done something good for yourself. It's a long-term benefit. That's a hard fucking sell.
Especially when pornography has fried everyone's fucking dopamine receptors and ruined their time preferences.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's right there in front of you. All you got to do is fucking turn on the TV. All you got to do is open up the fucking beer fridge. All you got to do is, stop off at McDonald's, right? Like, I think we can do it, but I just got, it is a hard sell. It is a hard sell because when you really talk to people and you really get them to fucking, be honest, go like, stop putting on the fucking show, dude. And you can, I've done this at fucking parties. We're here to have a good time. And you're just like, yeah, cool. But what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing tomorrow? What are we doing the day after?
Yeah.
And you see
Tomorrow, YOLO, bro. Who cares about tomorrow?
Well, exactly.
YOLO.
And you see what you can see what people really want.
Well, it's like the difference between a Snickers bar and a fucking home cooked meal. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, okay, you're hungry, so you go eat fucking, a bag of chips or something. You're not hungry anymore, but then you kind of feel like shit and fucking, it's the
Yeah.
This is why
Destroying your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I'll never be effective, is because I'm a fucking downer. I'm a fucking. I can be funny sometimes, but I'm just not I'll never be that effective fucking person. We need somebody who can fucking. I've said this before. We need somebody who's a honest to God fucking true believer, but is fucking like knows how to be subtle and funny and all that shit, right?
I think more important than that is we need, 1,000 groups around the country or, countries, world, whatever, of people like us to get together and, build something with each other.
Yeah, I do agree that we need to like form our own communities. All
Yes.
move next to each other, maybe start businesses together and shit like that. It's
Yeah,
actually
I would
about to
say-
become really relevant with all this coof shit and vaccine crap and everything. Like, we're gonna want to do something like that when we probably should have been doing it this whole time, but you will also know why they haven't, because the fucking feds are gonna be up fucking balls deep in this and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
because oh no, these people want to just live a fucking decent life and fucking, you know what I mean?
Yep.
You can't have that.
No.
Yeah. Thing is, like I said, it's got to start with a culture. You're not gonna there is no we're gonna separate to this state and we're just gonna
Yep.
It has to be changed with people that want it to change, and everything that's going on right now is waking up a lot of people to it. I'm talking.
Well,
Just like I
yeah,
said today,
well, I mean-
Go.
Go ahead, sorry. I was going to say what I meant by building community, I don't mean like a literal physical community. I mean, I do, but before that comes, I just mean literally what we're doing here on this show, like what we've been doing is getting people together and talking about this kind of shit. But, it comes to a point where we kind of have to do that IRL. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, think about it this way. If there's 1,000 or even hundreds of groups, small groups that get larger, they bring more people in, they get more people all over the country. Like, that's the start, right? That's how you start building a culture and changing things, and then you can actually affect real action. And by action, I mean building physical communities. You know what I mean? Or
Right. But okay, I know that Q is LARPers and this and that, but there's millions of people that are like, trust God, be a patriot, and it does have some positive effect. You can, I don't care if they never come out with it. I know they're not going to come out with the bombshell that we think, and that they're not going to perp walk Hillary. I understand, but that has had a positive effect on a lot of people. Some people take it to the extreme. Like the other day, I replied to this lady. I felt bad. She's like, my son threatened suicide because and my husband wants to leave me because I'm too much into this Q thing, And I responded. I said, look, delete your account, go apologize to your husband, and you're not going to fix the situation. There's millions of people. Take care of your family first. It doesn't matter if Q wins if you don't have a family, What's the point? What's the point of you following Q if in the end result is going to be, okay, Trump gets elected, the Q dropped the bomb, but you don't have a family, So I understand there's extremes, but there's a lot of normal people out there that have never heard about this, and they're not going to jump on our train without going through all those first steps.
Yep. And actually,
you take a normal person and you tell them what we're talking about, and they'll run for the hills.
The funny thing about the Q thing, we've touched on this before about it kind of being a way to keep people from being active, Yeah, you're
Keep
touching
them
on
busy on nothing, kind of.
Yeah, the counterpoint is that it's getting a whole shit ton of people who would never, ever fucking listen to what we said.
And having them open to it, and
having
you know,
them,
and if you really look into the Q thing, aside from the crazy post and the numerology and all this, the message is, you know, stand with God. You know, you're on the right side of what's going on, and there are some positives to be drawn from it. It's not, you know, and we can't, you know, you're not gonna get people sitting around and pointing, that guy's a LARPer, oh, that guy's a grifter, oh, that guy sucks, and then, you know, like whatever it is that gets people to like go to God, or I'm for, you know,
Yeah.
at least for me, you know, at least that's my, you know, because what else do we have? We don't have a platform. I mean, we don't have a huge network. We can be on YouTube. We can be, you know, and it's
and
it's at least something that's having some sort of effect, you know.
Yeah, and if one kind of just average Joe gets spurred on by that to look into other things, then it's you know, that's one more than we could have gotten.
Yeah. I mean,
however.
You know,
However, it's not a, you know, it's not a completely innate or beneficial thing, or
right. But what is name one? You know?
Exactly. No, exactly.
I mean, every idea, every message, has its negatives, you know.
But like, once again, this is why I don't go arguing with Q people. I don't go arguing with Nick fans or anything else, or because.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of whatever. Like I said before, I started with Shapiro.
That's why I say, like, I don't like to give them
those.
I don't like to give it the attention, because, like, then it's, you know what I mean. Then in some ways
it becomes about
winning.
that, yeah.
In some ways they're kind of winning there because they're talking about them, and I'm like, fuck, I don't even want to talk about this motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got you.
I mean, I don't mind making jokes here and there, but then when, like, to be stuck on it all the time, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
yeah. It definitely gives them power, and it makes it, instead of it being about what you're talking about, it makes it about the different personalities involved, and that's definitely
you gotta do your own thing, you know, and whatever other people do, whatever, you know.
Yep.
Anything else for tonight, guys?
No, I think that's about it.
Shit, dude.
It's
we ran
fucking
really
late.
tonight.
Yeah, we ran late tonight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice, good stuff.
This is a really good fucking show.
Yeah.
I can't believe I fucking missed this for fucking 2 nights in a row. A fucking loser. Jesus.
Did you feel a Fren report sized hole?
I did.
Oh, Walrus, you said to remind you about the chest. You know, people have been with you 4 hours. You know, throw it out there. You know?
That's true. Let me
Oh God, we need that chest boy.
Oh my God.
Give the goyim something to take home.
And rubbing intensifies. I love it. I was doing that one day, and I can't remember what the fuck else was doing it, but somebody else was doing it too. Like, we did it like spontaneously at the same time up to the mic.
Yeah,
start rubbing
probably
in.
me.
It's a beautiful thing.
It was probably me, because I think me and you were the only ones that do that. So, but yeah, hand rubbing. You guys got your hands rubbing together now.
This is why I fucking like hanging out with fucking you guys, is even when we don't agree on shit, we all know the same fucking memes. We all know what's going on.
Yeah.
Somebody has a different.
Yeah, I definitely
take
think
on
it's good
something.
to not agree on stuff, because you know you get good discussions out of that.
I like people. I like talking to people who disagree with me, because once in a while it's good to hear people, you know, who are wrong, and let them talk a bit.
Well, you're gonna get closer to the truth if you're both like actually discussing it. You know what I mean? Instead of just
Yeah.
That's why I don't like debates so much, because like neither side is gonna give. It's all about winning, and it's not about actually getting to the truth of the matter. You know?
Yeah.
Not that the debates don't have their place, but
Yeah, it does sharpen the sword, you know.
but the discussion is what doesn't exist in the world enough. That's why I like to focus on that aspect. You know.
You.
All right, let me do these chesticles here. The war on Doug's. Poor Doug. Poor Doug.
Oh yeah. Speaking of the war on drugs, are we having Animal on sometime this week?
He was supposed to come on today, and then he I messaged him on Twitter, and he didn't. Of course, he didn't show up till later either. So, Animal, whenever you want to come on. All right, Tuber's the big winner
he's
tonight.
tubing!
He's gonna tubing. Tuber's the big winner tonight with 19. Real McGoy 11.3. Ray got 8.5. Murray with the 6.9. And Banana Pepper with 5.9.
Oh God, remember the 6.9 lemons.
Never forget.
That's amazing.
Animated.
It's amazing that you got 60 lemons, Murray.
I didn't
Oh
realize.
God, these
600 lemons.
600 lemons are fantastic.
Bro, 6,000 lemons? Nice.
Dude, never forget the 60,000 lemons.
Oh no, that's 600,000 lemons, so they can never be forgotten.
Dude, how dare you minimize the 6 million lemons?
We did it.
Woo! Reddit, we did it.
We did it, guys.
I almost didn't realize I have enough fucking lemons to start donating ice creams. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's the only reason I collect. The only reason I care. I can donate them back and make myself look like a big man.
Right.
I still haven't subscribed. I'm gonna get this shit fucking in order.
Yeah, save
gotta
it up
order-
and subscribe because that'll get Walrus verified.
Yeah, that's,
I got,
that's not a bad idea.
I got fucking all kinds of fucking merchandise. I'm trying to fucking. I gotta fucking get free from everybody. All kinds of fucking good shit. That's some great fucking great content fucking out there, and great fucking people putting out their shit. And I think we should support them when we can. So
Yes.
Buy some merch, Goy.
yeah. Time to shield the merch,
Streamlabs.com/FrenReport/merch.
All right, folks, I gotta go walk my dog. Oh, I don't want to pee in my house. So, see you guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Later, Murray.
Bro.
Take it easy, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out too, boys. It's been swell.
Yeah.
Later.
Good as always. Have a good
Later,
night.
man.
And I have
All
to
right.
talk to Hot Stuff after the show.
Oh, well, then I'll go ahead and hop out of the call as well, then.
Cool. I'll just go ahead and mute
And
up, play us out.
I will talk to you guys later.
Later, bro. Good night, everybody.
HH Brothers.
Well, I wake up early in the morning, you see. Texas won't let me in. I ain't gonna be here long. Not afraid I'm going. I ain't gonna be here long, Lord. I ain't gonna be here long. But my heart it sure ain't pumping like it used to do. Lord knows I bump a leg and it turns black and blue. Yes, it does. Now they say that it's unhealthy the way that I live. My liver's gone, my lungs are shot, my heart's about to give. But I ain't gonna let that bother me, no. So I'm drinking, smoking, guns on rebel sun. I ain't gonna let that bother me, no, Lord. So I'm drinking, smoking, guns on rebel sun. I ain't gonna be here long. Not afraid I'm going. I ain't gonna be here long, Lord. Ain't gonna be here long. Ain't gonna be here long.